Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll go ahead and get started. Today, Dave's doing the invocation and Bob will do the pledge. Dave?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all the opportunities it has to offer. Please be with us and guide our hearts and our minds as we come together today to make decisions that affect us all. May we always be here in support of one another as we continue to search for meaningful ways to serve you and our neighbors. Lord, we thank you for your presence here today. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Freeling. Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman.
Here.
Majerick.
Here.
Meeks.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Lawrath.
Here.
Werfel. Here. Yarborough.
Here.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Minutes from last Thursday, no changes have been noted. A motion to approve is in order.
So moved.
Moved by Scott, supported by Meeks. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, I understand we have some communications.
Yes, you received 1 communication and email from Ron and Michelle Galler from Stevensville in regards to the removal of the health department's orders for the Berrien County schools received on October 6th. That's all.
Very good, thank you. And while you're at it, you want to talk about Board of Canvassers?
Yes. Today is the annual meeting of the Board of Commissioners, and every odd year,
canvassers, Board of Canvassers.
Well, today's your annual meeting.
Our annual meeting? I
Yes.
thought it was in January.
No, this is called your annual meeting.
Oh,
And
okay.
your minutes have to state it as
Oh,
a,
okay.
yeah, that's an organization.
Cake or something?
Yeah, is there like,
I didn't,
Like everybody's looking at me
I
like,
didn't know that. I'm new
yeah,
to all of this.
the second meeting of the month is your annual meeting by state law.
Oh, okay.
So according to state law, under the Board of Canvassers, it requires you to reappoint or appoint members to the Board of Canvassers. Right now, before you, in June and July, we sent a letter to each political party chair, which would be the Democratic Party and the Republican, and asked them to either reappoint or give us 3 names of new applicants, and also have an alternate. This year's recommendation was given to us, Sharon Geisler from Lincoln Charter Township to be reappointed, and it would be a term expiring on October 31st by the Republican Party. Greta Van Bree, Lincoln Charter Township to be reappointed with a term expiring on October 31st, 2025. And then your alternates, Larry Goldberg from Buchanan Township to be reappointed as an alternate member with his term expiring October 31st, 2025 by the Republican Party. Jerry Zirk, Benton Charter Township to be reappointed as an alternate member with the term expiring on October 31st, selected by the Democratic Party. And Larry Berghoff will be filling a vacancy with a term expiring October 31st, 2023, selected by the Republican Party. In the law, and we have to give you a ballot, even though they're not running by anybody, but we have to have a ballot because the law states it. We should not be just taking a motion. And it's really spelled out that way. And I know we've tried to eliminate time, but you will get a ballot again. So you'll have to mark it. It is public knowledge and you will have to sign it. One thing with the Board of Canvassers, they, after an election, they review everything. I'm the clerk of the Board of Canvassers. I have no voting rights when elections happen. I'm sit there, I give all the information, but no voting rights. I don't certify it. I have really no say in that process. So after this meeting, they will be sworn in the beginning of the spring. They will certify all the ballot bags, look at them to make sure they're correct. And then we'll begin training the canvassers for the 2022 election. But they follow us on through. And as we see the 2022 election, we will probably be using our alternates to assist with the Board of Canvassers. They do get a stipend wage, which comes out of my budget, which you've seen this year. So I will let Sheila pass out the ballots. And that's the Board of Canvassers. And I also gave you a list of what the current Board of Canvassers, which they are. One thing which is good is that we're reappointing because it is a long, at least they know what they're doing. To bring somebody new in, it doesn't happen all the time. They'll be meeting in November because we have the City of St. Joe and the City of Benton Harbor's election, so they will canvass that election. And if there's any recounts, then they canvass that and they check that, and it's all voted by them, not me.
Thank you.
Should we do this now and give it back today?
Yeah, we need to say that, and then we have to announce it per the law.
You said we had to sign it.
Yes, you have to sign it up at the top. Is it right up at the top?
It says just Commissioner's name, so.
Yep, yep.
Great.
Yeah, I can put it. Don't forget.
That one?
That's perfect.
So we vote for one of each?
Yeah, really, you have nobody opposed to anybody, so, or unless you don't want to vote for certain ones and you don't like them, but they're all good people.
So we could vote for everybody on this
Really,
page?
yes, everybody on it, because it says vote for one.
Do I have to print two or just sign?
Just sign, we'll just know that you did it. And then if we're audited by the state, then we've got that you voted on it.
May I ask, Clerk,
Sure,
why are there just 2 Democrats and 3 Republicans?
because one is filling an empty vacancy. One of my previous Board of Canvasser ran for office to Lake Michigan trustee. It was Vicki Berghoff, so her husband took on her position. And
that's
so-
not where Lester did not expire yet.
Right, so right. And so he's just finishing out her term.
Okay.
So you're just ratifying everything.
Okay. Come on, what is your name?
John?
Sheila.
Well, then Sheila's going to, if you will announce the votes. So we just gotta, I'm sorry, it's just what you have to do at the annual meeting on odd years.
It's a secret.
Gotta make sure there's no hanging chads.
Well, let's just see if anybody didn't vote. So there's 2 less. What, 2 less?
Nor do I.
Okay,
So just
so,
minus 1 on each of those.
so it'd be 11.
11 for everyone, 10 for this.
Okay, so you want to announce, okay, we can announce the votes. Excuse me? Sheila will announce the votes.
Okay, Sharon Geisler, 11. Greta Van Bree, 10. Larry Goldberg, 11. Jerry Cirque, 10. And Larry Berghoff, 11.
Okay, well, congratulations to,
All of those
Yes.
that applied.
yes, it was a hard-fought campaign, and I'm glad it worked out for all of them. And just for the sake of our minutes, this process, for lack of a better word, has been done pursuant to MCL section 168.24C, lowercase c, as in cat. All right, Madam Clerk, does that take care of
Yes.
your slot on the agenda? Okay. Public comments regarding resolutions, and there will be an added resolution, which we just received out of admin A2110342, which has to do with adjusting the speed limit on Glenlord Road from Washington Avenue to Hollywood Road, which I believe is currently at 55, and you're wanting to make it 95, is that right?
Whatever it shakes out.
Or, right. Reducing the speed limit, I'm guessing is what it's about. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's why they want to speak.
All right, so anyone who wants to comment on resolutions, this is your time.
Resolution 3-4, and I don't quite understand the health department. Apparently needs some help, but there's a couple words in here that I got interested in. Cumbersome and clunky process. I think I just saw it. So does this resolution apply to you people too? That you're all talking, it would fit real well. Clunky and cumbersome and clunky process. Should apply to you people the way that you just handled this. With everybody talking and nobody really knows what's going on. But anyway, you can hire a smart set subscription, so on and so forth. That's only gonna cost us $19,500 for a year. Way to go, county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scheer. Any other comments about resolutions on the agenda, including the added resolution? Yes, sir.
Pelter Hager. Now, I wish you, okay, it's a resolution. The word I'm concerned about is the first word. Every one of these says whereas. You know, when I was learning English, I look at that where, it's supposed to be where reason, left off the O-N or something. Where did that word come from? Shouldn't it be two words? Were, as, who made it one word here? What does that mean? I like to see different words in here besides whereas, like because, since, or while, so people have some idea what it is. But you guys put in whereas, put another S on there, right? That's what we are. Goodbye. That's all.
You mean swear as, right? The extra S. All right, if there are no other comments about resolutions, we'll go to the consent calendar. However, before we do, we will need to amend the agenda to add the resolution that was referenced a moment ago about Glen Lord Road speed. Is there a motion to amend the agenda to include A2110342?
This is Commissioner Harrison. I'll make that motion.
Moved by Harrison, supported by Curran. Discussion. Do you want to explain why we're doing this, Jim?
It's really not time sensitive or anything. It came to our attention. We just thought we might as well move it forward today.
Okay.
Anytime they want to do a speed study, let's get it done.
Is the motion to amend the agenda is supported? I'm trusting that implicit in that motion was a request to waive the reading of this resolution, but rather
Absolutely.
to cover it under the consent calendar. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was your support as well?
That is correct.
Okay, with that, Madam Clerk, if there's no other discussion, would you please call the roll concerning amending the agenda to add a resolution A2110342 and to waive reading, but rather to incorporate it into the consent calendar?
Curran,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
Meeks.
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Werfel. Yes. Yarborough,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.
Thank you. Now to the consent calendar, which includes the resolution ending in 0342. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as revised?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Curran, supported by Volrath. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Scott,
No.
Walrath,
Yes.
Werfel,
Yes.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 10 yeas, 1 nay.
thank you. On the backside, starting with committee reports, Madam.
Thank you very much. Our finance committee did meet today, and the first person that we talked with was Kevin Stack of the Berrien County Road Department. As he told you, in our committee of the whole, there's a need to order a number of vehicles and trucks and hoes and diggers and things that do this instead of just that. And he explained very well to us. And as in all things that we're doing, it's almost a year before you could get it. And so they wanted to get this ordered before the end of October. And we said, you know, we saw it on the computer and the information, and they want to, the reason they did it on a waiver is because they want to buy John Deere equipment. We also just heard that they're going out on strike. So some of these are things that they never had before. And so we want to bring that to you as a resolution next week to accept so that they can do that. There are many other things they mean to order, but they're from other companies, and this is something they want to get on right away. Then we had our Community Development Director, Dan Fetty, came in, and we do, every 5 years, we do a master agreement with the Michigan Department of Transportation. They give us money to finance Berrien Bus. And he says right now the Berrien Bus is at full capacity of having contracts and doing what they you need to do to work, to pick up different contracts and all. And they're at full capacity for employees also. They had someone that quit, but then they were able to hire another person. So getting equipment and getting people to work, it's really been a struggle, you know, with the things that we're doing. The next person that came and talked with us was our Drain Commissioner, Christopher Quatrain. And what he presented to us was the tax rolls, what they mean to the assessments. There's a lot of work that they have to do, and they're meaning to do something about $1,800,000. Oh, that's the bonds. The 20-year bonds are up $1,800,000, and the maintenance in notes are down. That's the 10-year notes, and the bonds are 20-year bonds. So he presented to us, and that amount we expect to make with that, or that's been assessed, is $3,373,000. Is it 373,000?
I believe that's what he said.
373,000 will be added to the roll, and that covers 178 drains.
Yes.
Okay. Then Motorola's meeting had met with the administration committee, and you all will tell us about that. Next year, in the Drain Commission, it looks like about 3 projects in the $12 million range. That's something they're looking at to work on in 2022. That's my report.
Questions for finance? Yes, sir.
I do have a question. The last time we did a major purchase through the road department, we were supplied or at least the administration committee was, equipment list, inventory. So we know what they have, what they're replacing, and what they're replacing. Are they retaining that equipment, or are they selling that piece of equipment? Could we have that before we approve that resolution? So we can see where this equipment fits into their overall structure?
Okay.
Because you're going to introduce that resolution next week.
Yes.
That's to authorize the purchase of all this,
Well,
correct?
what we did, we just did the waiver.
Correct. So
Is
to
it
answer
to
your
go my
question-
deal?
No.
You're waiving to purchase
Oh,
through
let
my
me
deal?
explain to you. It's national.
That's what
It's a
Kevin-
national organization like My Deal. Their prices are lower than the state of Michigan. Plus they give a 2% discount. Plus they'll give some other kind of discount. And they have used this company, gone with this organization before. And what they did was they just received some trucks. Was it through the national?
No,
Okay.
the trucks came through my
Yeah.
deal.
We just received some trucks, and immediately people want to buy the trucks that we have. So that right there is going on, and that is something that can be put in a explanation to us.
I'll notify road department now. I'll have them report the inventory upgrades, the bid list of what's going away. We'll have it to you by next week.
Okay, great, thank you. Also,
Kevin thoroughly, he did get it in front of us.
Yeah.
In front of him, and he thoroughly explained to us what they were changing,
Mhm.
so what they were doing,
good.
what they were going to replace, item for item, what they were gonna do. And the biggest, the biggest intent that he's got right now, the problem he's trying to solve is that the equipment is so far out on purchase.
Yeah.
He needs to, he's making a commitment for something that he's not gonna get for 8 months, or
Right.
even 10 months out, and has to get on a list, if you will, in order to even get that equipment. And it's becoming a very real problem with things, automobiles, any type of equipment, anything that's manufactured is becoming a very, very big problem. So that was the intent behind this, so that he can get put on that list, so that he can get, it's not, I don't know, gone are the days forever, but gone are the days right now where you can go to a showroom and buy an excavator. You know, it's not a thing.
And moreover, I had Kevin presenting to finance today. I anticipated your conversation with Motorola was likely to last quite a bit longer. That's why you didn't see him.
Okay.
We weren't sidestepping. We had just anticipated admin was going to go a lot longer on the 911 topic. We'll have him to you all next week.
Okay. Now, could we use this national outfit like we could in my deal? We can waive the bidding process. I mean, I know.
That's why they were at the finance committee today. The waiver process was discussed. They submitted the waiver request. They described the bidding process and noted that through this federal purchase program, that it was significantly cheaper than using my deal. That was the whole purpose of them going to the finance committee today, was to allow for the flexibility to use this as opposed to the more standard bid process.
Okay. So it should be pretty simple for them to put together an inventory list if they've explained it all to finance and.
It's already there. Yeah,
Good. If we could see it, I'd appreciate it.
not a problem. I'll
Thank you.
send the request now.
May I interject? So with the waiver, that was going to be used as the commitment.
Yes.
Do we need to hold off on already providing that because they were ready to move forward with that after having the finance approval from the waiver request?
Right.
So if that needs to be held off, we need to know that.
No, don't have to.
As far as admin goes, I can have that information to you within an hour.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hold up the process.
Okay.
But in previous years, and especially when we first took over the road department or road commission, we got an equipment list. We knew every piece of property they had. And through admin, when they've made major purchases, I've asked for an updated list.
Okay.
And I guess that's all I'm asking at this point. So no, I don't want to hold up the
I
process.
just wanted to make sure we knew
I
what
just-
you wanted to do because I didn't.
Because I want to, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the old list that I have, the new list that you're going to supply me and see where they're at.
Mhm.
So no,
Okay.
don't hold up the process.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
and if I could just interject on something too, Jim. One of the things that he is buying or wants to purchase is a new excavator. And it'll have the rubber tracks on it, so it's not going to, hurt the roadways. But what it'll do, especially with the articulate bucket on there, as far as cleaning ditches, almost like a Great All does, but also he could have 2 construction crews running. So he's not getting rid of an excavator. I mean, on that, he's not getting rid of an excavator. He's adding 2 to help get the work done. I think that was what some of it was. And the point is if we don't get in the queue, it'll be like the squad cars. Then all of a sudden we can't get any.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that process. But, we approve the purchase of items, but we don't approve or we don't see when they get rid of items.
Right.
When they either
That's a good
sell them
point.
outright or
That's a very
whatever.
good point.
And so that inventory list changes without our knowledge. And that's where asking for an updated one just helps me understand where they're at. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, questions for finance? Anything else? Okay, then we'll go to PHS. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we met this morning. First person to talk with us was Carrie Smetanka Haney regarding adding a position in the trial court using existing budget. They're experiencing a significant backlog, and with turnover of staff, they're not able to fully process cases as they would wish. This would be a responsibility person that would fill in with the vacancies and cover for absences. So we considered that. That's a resolution that'll come to you in the forthcoming future. We approved our minutes. We had an advanced step hire request from the prosecutor's office. We had a assistant prosecutor leave and have got someone coming in that's well experienced in family court issues. And so they wanted to hire him up in the scale. Very great experience. And so we considered that and approved that. We approved the monthly per diems. We had an annexation approval for the village of Eau Claire. So a little different than much like we've helped cover some of the road issues. We're covering some annexation with the village. And so they're taking some property from Pipestone Township. And so we approved that. Both parties have agreed to that, so we're comfortable with that. Got a renewal of the contract with Mosaic for isolation of COVID positive people who are essentially homeless. And so this is an extension of our current contract with them. Also an agreement with Spectrum for TB support services. Again, same situation, a renewal of our agreement with them. And we've already talked about Smartsheet. And then we've got additional money coming to us from the state of Michigan for not only COVID, but now also lead support services in the community. And so we reviewed those. Now, these will all come to you at a later date. And then also a substance abuse services agreement with SWMBH. So we approved that too. So a lot of business, but generally nothing out of the ordinary.
Questions for PHS? Yes, ma'am.
May I ask if you would explain about the smart sheet?
So it's I think one of the things that not just us, but other organizations around the country have experienced with the onset of COVID, that the support systems in place aren't sufficient to actually share information between staff as well as with other organizations. So with Smart Sheets, it'll give the health department staff the ability to share information internally as well as with Lakeland and the school districts. So it is a good investment. It's not inexpensive. It'll be paid for with COVID relief dollars, but it will enhance their ability to process information and probably do a little better job. We've struggled a bit with our website and the COVID reporting, so this should help.
Just to follow up on that, we are not what I would describe as nimble the way that we're sharing spreadsheets. With the Smartsheet, what it allows is for a cloud-based operation, you can create a spreadsheet where multiple organizations spread across multiple different offices can then input and adjust the data being placed into that spreadsheet. The only way we can do that right now is essentially I create the spreadsheet, I email it to you, you insert whatever data, you email it back to me, and then I go to the next and the next and the next. It is not even close to being a fluid process.
Okay. Thank you. And I just wanted the, our audience to hear.
Good question.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay, Jim, you want to do admin?
Yeah, thank you, Mac. We had a few guests in this morning. First one is Legal Aid, West Michigan Legal Aid. I think we only see them, once a year anyway. And with the COVID, I think it's been at least 2 years. For those of you who remember, Mary Ellen Jolette did retire. So I do see her every once in a while. She's enjoying her retirement. So Mary Spiegel and Pam Hochwater. Mary Spiegel is local. Pam Hochwater is the regional supervisor where they handle 17 different counties, specific to Berrien County. She said they've been busy. They primarily provide legal services to folks that can't afford it. They have in the Berrien County office 4 attorneys and 2 support staff. And she said a majority of their time in this last year has been spent on eviction defense because of the pandemic, trying to keep people in their homes. And that has increased 83% in the last year. So they've been busy with that. Caitlin and the 2 gentlemen from Motorola were in to see us this morning. I reported on this, the proposed tower and simulcast a while back and said that we estimated it to be about 6 million. Well, it's 7.8 million. So a little more than we had anticipated. But this is the money that Senator Losada got for us. So 5 million of this is covered through the state. We had a brief discussion about the financing on the 2.8. Caitlin said basically it's ARPA money or raising fees. And because I sit on 911, I'm familiar with the conversations. I don't want to raise the fee for the tower expense because we may have to raise the fee for some other expenses. And so I don't want us to get too carried away with fees on their cell phone. So we're probably going to have some discussion as a full board on supplying 2.8 million to make this project happen out of our ARPA funds. Did I miss anything on that? I mean, we had a good discussion. It wasn't real lengthy. I mean, Caitlin wrote the specs, so we've got an idea. She has an idea. These are all estimates, but like you were talking about in finance, you got to get stuff out there now because some of this pricing is only good for the month of October, and then it'll go up. And as far as supply and demand, getting the thing. So that's why she wants to fast track this and move it right along. So I would anticipate your support in 2.8 million as we move forward for ARPA funds. So please keep that in mind. Any questions on that topic?
Mr. Chair, just a quick follow-up on that. For the sake of the board, we'll work to get Caitlin here to present at one of your upcoming committee of the whole discussions about the extent of the project. We'll address the supply chain issues that are impacting everything. Motorola is the vendor on this. Motorola is a vendor that is recognized by the state of Michigan. That is our only option. So at a minimum, we've got to go through committee of the whole for a full board presentation, then to finance for the waiver to go sole source with Motorola, then to the Board of Commissioners for a resolution authorizing contract with Motorola to begin. We've got quite a few moving pieces on this, but this is one that the lead time on this project is pretty lengthy. It'll go through design phase, it'll go through the construction phase, and if you took action yet this month, realistically, you're looking at a year and a half down the road before the project is likely to be completed. So real long lead time. I'm thrilled that we got it through admin today, but moreover, I'll just keep reminding our state senator just hit a home run on this one. Her staff coordinated with our staff, and to have $5 million of the project offset by the state is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good sized price tag, but it's just awesome. This is great, that we got this and we would make this happen. Okay, then we had from the trial court, Carrie Smitaki-Haney. She talked to us about their strategic plan. The last one they did was from 2018 to 2021. I asked that if it hasn't been done, that she forward it to all the commissioners so you can see it. Otherwise, it's on the website, so you can go on the website and view it there. But I wanted everyone to have a copy. She did send it to all the admin committee members, so we've seen it, kind of reviewed it, looked it over. But they're going to be working on that. And I believe, and Commissioner Wolf might help me out here, didn't she say if any of the commissioners are interested in sitting on the strategic committee, that they could let her know? Did I hear that right or not?
I was thinking it was on the community involvement.
As part of their strategic plan? Or
As
something
part of their
entirely
strategic
different?
Plan, there's having a community involvement committee.
Okay,
And if we wanted to be on that.
okay. And we can extend that to the whole board, if any of the commissioners? Okay, very good, thank you. Then we had Brian and Mac come in and talk to us, and we reiterated some things we had talked about earlier, such as the radio project. We had the added resolution that you saw today, and we will have a resolution for you next week. It's resolution A2110-338, and this is to abandon a bunch of old roads that are considered abandoned and discontinued. They're all down in Niles Township. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 roads down there. And essentially what happens is when a lot of this area is platted out, they have roads going from point A to point B. they might not use that whole section for a road, and it ends up 500 feet short, and that last 500 feet is in the woods. It's not developed, it's not anything, but on the books, it's regarded as a road right of way. And so what the road department does periodically all over the whole county is when they find these roads like this that are designated, they get them off the books. And that's basically what they're asking us to do here with these 4 roads. So you'll have that resolution for approval at the next meeting. And that is our report.
Questions for admin? Jim, do those roads, once they're abandoned, do they revert back at the center line to the property owners on either side, did they say, or what happens?
Yeah, in this particular case, the last one that they brought to us, it was the same thing, that there was one property owner who owned adjacent to that section of road that they abandoned. In this case, there are 2 property owners who own adjacent to all 4 of these. And so they've already talked to them, gotten their approval, talked to the township has given their approval. So it will resort back to just to be part of their property.
Yeah, okay.
No longer part of the county's.
I didn't know if there was a reversion process, but sounds like there is, so.
Yeah.
Any questions?
And the question was asked, does eliminating any of this have any impact on Public Act $51 for road? Does not.
Okay, commissioner reports. John, you want to tee off? Michael?
Just that we have a brownfield meeting at 1:30 today.
Thank you.
No report.
No report.
No report.
Dave?
No report.
No report.
No report. I got a report. Well, the county should be happy with my report, by God. Tuesday morning, I serve on the local revenue sharing board from the county, and we distributed approximately $4.5 million worth of money that came from the tribe as in the local agreement. And today I brought back 2 checks totaling over $600,000 and gave it to Brian. So I think that's a good report.
We'll take that, yes.
I have no report.
Thank you. Okay, administrator, anything?
Just to the board, in the last hour, there's been an announcement from the governor's office as it relates to Benton Harbor drinking water. I forwarded a copy of the executive order and the press announcement from the governor's office to all of you. I anticipate that it'll be a pretty active media coverage piece over the next couple of days. Put simply, the governor's office has announced their intent over the next 18 months to address all of the remaining lead service issues within the city. And then they'll be providing free bottled water to Benton Harbor residents until that work is completed. We don't have a lot of details on how this will work. As those details come together, I'll push it out to all of you. That's my comment, sir.
Thank you. General public comments at this point. Yes, sir.
Michael Haskins, Pipestone Township. With regards to the Personnel and Human Services Committee report, I want to inform you that any action by this body next week relative to the annexation of the property from Pipestone Township to the village of Eau Claire is premature. Neither the Township Planning Commission nor the Township Board have been presented with the request to annex. Any action will be premature. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, Ben, so we keep hearing from the road department occasionally that we are paying a director or temporary director, part-time director, whatever you want to call it, to be that director, and we have yet to hear from him at all. Why not? He's the one that's in charge of the road department. Why is he not here speaking about the road department? And we send road employees to Cass County which you guys approved. But yet now, we keep hearing, oh, we don't have time to do this in Berrien County. We're too busy. We're too busy. You've got potholes in roads that aren't being fixed. You've got shoulders on roads that are 4 or 5 inches deeper than what the road is, so the surface is. The roads in some areas are atrocious. And I can show you pictures by driving around what I'm talking about. There's limbs laying along the roads yet. All they do is push them off into the ditch, maybe not even into the ditch. But yet now we can go to Cass County. Are we getting reimbursed for that time we spent in Cass County? If so, I'd like to see the check.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Officer Hager. No, about a half hour ago, I was out there trying to find some water. All those drinking fountains are kaput. If they're there, why don't we turn the water on? Somebody ought to fix those things. No, I was using those when I was going to school there. That was 150 years ago. No, they look nice. They're nice color, you know, and all that, but yeah. So somebody maybe put some bottled water up there. And another thing I want to talk about is the seating arrangement does not work. We still cannot hear you, at least I cannot hear you back there. No, when you're talking to somebody sitting right next to you, you don't talk as loud as I'm talking to you right now. No, if I'm talking to him, nobody hears you. Right? That's what some of you are doing. You're sitting over there, you're talking to him, you don't raise your voice so that we can hear you. Those things you got on them with the red lights or green lights, I don't think they're working. No, you're sitting too close together. Maybe you ought to find a different room or something, but that arrangement makes you kind of talk in a low voice so we can't hear you back here. So I suggest you work on it, maybe knock out the wall over there and to have no, you're just sitting right across from each other. What about us back there? Suppose I was talking to one of those guys back there. I'm sitting right next to him. You think I'm gonna yell loud enough so that everybody can hear it? I know those mics or whatever they're called. That some of you are just backing off. I still cannot hear some of you. Now don't tell me to turn up my hearing aid. You're the brand new ones, okay? You're all the way up. I suggest maybe some of you ought to sit back there. Split you guys up. Half of you here and half of you there. Then when you talk, we sit in the middle here, okay? So we can hear everybody. Please.
Thank you, Mr.
Try to
Pelzer.
talk loud enough so that we can all hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Sheriff, Pipestone Township. Can you hear me now? I'm talking about this legal notice. It was in the paper October 6th. Notice of hearing of a petition of the village of All Clear to annex certain territory to the village of All Clear. Okay, well, what this is about is an annexation of property. Okay, then this goes on to say, over here at the end, the hearing on the petition will be a public hearing and all persons or all over against the proposed annexation may be heard. The hearing will be held to the county administration building for the county of Berrien and the city of St. Joe on the 21st day of October, 1921 at 10:30 a.m. Okay, now it's dated, signed by Sharon Tyler, Clerk of Berrien County Board of Commissioners. Okay, so why did you take action on this when you haven't even done the public hearing, which is supposed to be on the 21st? The other thing is Pipestone Township, I was at the board meeting last night, and when I first read this in the paper, I was told it was a different piece of property. At the board meeting last night, here's the map. It's actually two pieces of property. And what happened, and this has got the substation on it, which we went to court for, and now the
gonna transfer that over to the village of Eau Claire? Come on, folks. Because I was on the planning commission, so I've been all through this thing. And now, and we were told back then, they couldn't annex it because there was a piece of property between the city and the electric company. Well, now they're annexing that strip of property, which really isn't a legal split, and we didn't even know about it. And the county township board didn't even know about this whole thing until last night.
2 minutes. Your 2 minutes are up, sir.
Okay, well, anyway, passing this thing is not right, because we're supposed to have a public hearing on it on the 21st, so it's in the papers.
Just in case anyone is wondering, nobody passed anything. Nothing has been approved by the county board. It's only gone through the first step, which is the Personnel and Human Services Committee. Nothing has been approved at this point. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep. Any other comments? All right, we'll move to other business. Is Shelley on her line?
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Any other business? Yes, ma'am.
I'm on the community action, agency board, and we are doing, thanks. I'm on the community action board, and we are doing the water distribution in Benton Harbor. Some of you I know received the email, requesting volunteers. So if anybody is looking to help volunteer, they are distributing this every day. They get truckloads in and they are going out, daily at different locations throughout Benton Harbor. So if you're available and you can help for 2-hour periods, it's on their website where you can volunteer.
Great, thank you. Anything else? Brian just went to get Shelley. Yeah, I know. He went out one door, she came in the other. So, announcements and reminders. Michael, you mentioned is it Brownfield this afternoon? Okay. Anyone else have any other meetings coming up that we need to make note of while Brian is looking for Shelley? Okay.
Next Wednesday,
Parks is next Wednesday evening,
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, okay.
And that's it's Wednesday,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Even though it's a few weeks off, as you know, Veterans Day is always the 11th day of the 11th month. In this particular year, that falls on a Thursday. November 11 is a Thursday. So as we get closer, I mean, we would not be meeting on that day because of that being a legal holiday. And then, of course, we have Thanksgiving toward the end of November. If we need to do some adjusting to our meeting schedule, just give that some thought if we need to plug in a meeting somewhere else. Other than that, Brian has returned. Sorry.
Did you find her? She's been there the whole meeting.
Time for a vision check. So, no, she came in that door when you went out the other one. Anyway, okay, so that's it for announcements and reminders, unless you have anything.
We needed smart sheets.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're at the point now where we need to go into a closed session to discuss a collective bargaining negotiation and strategy, all as provided under MCL section 15.268C, I believe. This is the week for statutes ending in the small letter C. So is there a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session.
Moved by Volrath, supported by Meeks. Will the clerk please do a roll call vote?
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Meeks. Scott.
Yes.
Ballrath.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.